This is 3 News Daily.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to 3 News Daily on this Thursday, January 12th. I'm Stephanie Haney, and we start with breaking news today. NBC News just ended a special report a little after 1:30 p.m. where Attorney General Merrick Garland informed us that the Department of Justice is starting a special investigation into President Joe Biden's potential mishandling of classified documents. This is after more documents from his time serving as vice president were found at his Delaware home. Now, Biden told reporters that they were in a locked garage and he's fully cooperating with the DOJ. We have more details on what was found and where on WKYC.com. And we now have the next court date for Bryan Kohberger, the man believed to be responsible for the fatal stabbings of 4 University of Idaho students. The judge scheduled his preliminary hearing for more than 6 months from now, set now for Monday, June 26th, and reserved the entire week for the hearing in case they need all of that time to present evidence. In the status hearing today, the judge also asked Kohberger to waive his right to a speedy preliminary hearing. Otherwise, in Idaho, that would have had to have been held within 2 weeks of his first appearance. So instead of having to have that hearing by next Friday, it's now been pushed over 6 months. The 28-year-old was present at the status conference and spoke only briefly when answering the judge's questions. Now Kohberger is being held in jail without bond. Now, back here in Cleveland, classes are canceled for the second day in a row today at John Adams College and Career Academy. That's after one of the high school students was shot and killed at a nearby bus stop. 18-year-old Pierre McCoy was killed by a shooter wearing a ski mask. So far, no arrests have been made. The school district says classes are canceled today because of staff absences after being canceled yesterday due to the shooting. There will be no remote learning today either, and it will count as a calamity day. And a Cleveland law firm has fired a former senior attorney after he sent an inappropriate text message to a former colleague. The text was posted on LinkedIn and got shared all over social media. John Delano confirmed to Cleveland.com that he was the one who sent the text, which reads in part, "Rest assured regarding anyone who inquires, they will hear the truth from me about what a soulless and morally bankrupt person you are." Now, this was sent to an unnamed female colleague who accepted a new job shortly after returning from maternity leave. Kelly Barnett, a senior vice president and counsel at AmTrust Financial Services in Cleveland, shared screenshots of the text on LinkedIn. Her goal there was to spread awareness regarding the toxic culture at some law firms. You can read the rest of the text message on WKYC.com. Now for an update from the Federal Aviation Administration. The FAA believes the system outage that grounded flights around the country yesterday was caused by a corrupted file. The FAA says it affected both the primary and the backup systems. They're still investigating. And in consumer news, inflation is expected to ease up a bit as we move into the new year, but one place families are still feeling that pinch is at the grocery store. The price of necessities like flour, bread, and milk went up by as much as 19% in 2022, and they have not come back down. But it's eggs that are bringing the biggest blow to your wallet, more than doubling in cost in the last year. Our National Verify team says this is due to a combination of inflation and also a bird flu outbreak that has led to the loss of tens of millions of egg-laying hens. Now here's some good news. Mayfield Heights students are helping out their fellow classmates with something they call the Pay It Forward room. Now this room is overflowing with clothes and toiletries, and it's all for free for people in need. 50 student volunteers have organized and handed out hundreds of boxes of donated items. Organizers say the room is important because embarrassment has caused many students to suffer in silence.
What happens is they don't have enough and they don't say anything, and that breaks my heart. I would argue that every school has students that don't have enough. And this is basically a way for students to get what they need.
What a great resource. Now, community members can pick up supplies confidentially after school, and the response has been so overwhelming that they're now looking for a bigger space to hold those donations. Just a reminder for you now, the Greater Cleveland Food Bank is holding a food drive in the Muni lot today. That's from 1 to 4 p.m. The food bank asks that you arrive in a car and that your trunk be empty. You do need to register beforehand as well, and you can do that at wefeedcle.org. We have more information if you need it at WKYC.com. Now, over at Progressive Field, the Guardians are announcing their plans for a renovated field for after the 2023 season. They've renewed their lease of the ballpark with the city for the next 15 years, and that's expected to bring in $435 million for Cleveland. And now they can move forward with their Progressive Field Reimagined project. So the team is unveiling renovation renderings that are going to take place over the next 3 years. We have details for that on WKYC.com, and we'll also have them in our evening shows today. And that brings us to our question of the day. We want to know, what would you like to see the Guardians bring to the ballpark? Post your comment to the WKYC Facebook page, and we will talk about it during What's New at 4 o'clock. They do a pretty good job with this, but I'd like to see some more vegan options. That's just me personally. And the National Park Service has announced that they now own 198 acres of the former Brandywine Golf Course property. The land will now be part of the Cuyahoga Valley National Park. A new study, by the way, from Travel Lens has ranked the Cuyahoga Valley National Park as number 2 in a list of the top 10 parks across the nation. Number 1 on that list is the Great Smoky Mountains. I'd say that we're in pretty good company there. Now, speaking of being in good company, this is a pretty cool story for one of our own. Northeast Ohio's Peter Lawson Jones is a Harvard-trained lawyer, turned politician, turned actor, and now he is starring in A Man Called Otto with a man called Tom Hanks. Our Lydia Esparra met up with him to talk about his role.
We know this face and voice.
I'm supposed to be here. Okay.
Not from the TV and movies, but from when he served as a politician for Greater Cleveland. But now Peter Lawson Jones is acting in what could be a blockbuster movie.
The whole neighborhood is falling apart these days.
With no other than superstar Tom Hanks.
While we would be shooting scenes, I would be looking at Tom Hanks thinking, this is Tom Hanks. How in the world, Peter Lawson Jones, did you get in a film, let alone several scenes with him?
A Man Called Otto, just released in theaters, and Lawson Jones has a pretty good part. He stars as Reuben.
Reuben was at one point Otto, the character played by Tom Hanks, at one point Otto's closest friend.
The movie goes through flashbacks where at times Lawson Jones plays Reuben in 2 different stages of his life, something Lawson Jones knows too well.
You never know what's going to happen in life. You just got to keep all the doors open.
He's always opening doors for others, too. He's holding a red carpet event to raise money for the foundation his parents started, the Charles and Margaret Jones Scholarship Fund. It sends kids to college.
There will be 500 people. We've had to rent out 4 theaters.
And he'll raise $30,000. Lawson Jones seems to always make a connection, even with my photographer, Bailey Lustig, who was an extra in the movie. Right here and right here. The Harvard grad, now 70-year-old, keeps reinventing himself, and he says, why not?
Never give up on aspiring for more. Never give up on trying to fulfill your passions.
Lydia Esparra, 3 News.
We love to see it. We love to see those Northeast Ohio people with their time in the sunshine. And shout out to Bailey for getting in there. Definitely good company. Thanks for being here with us for today's edition of 3 News Daily. We appreciate you. We'll be back tomorrow with more of your top stories from Northeast Ohio.